it is doing the correlation between your question and the geographic and time stamp and the context, and then providing pictures with that.
This episode is made possible by OIT VoIP. Find your best-in-class revenue generation for MSPs all over the world. Learn more via the link in the show notes.
Good morning, and welcome to the September 16th episode of MSP Dispatch, your source for news, community events, and commentary in the MSP channel. My name is Tony Francisco, and my laughing co-host, Mr. Ray Orsini. Ray, we are back. How are you doing today, sir?
I am fantastic. I'm so excited to get into the news. I'm so excited to talk to MSPs again. I missed all of you.
There's the Dolphins, kicking out the Dolphins right away. You know what else we have to get into right away?
What?
Let's get into the news. Let's do it.
Oh, Tony, I want to get so into it. And in my first story, that's what we're going to do. Cybersecurity talent shortage prompts White House action, in a story written by Nathan Eddy for Dark Reading. The U.S. faces a significant cybersecurity threat, talent shortage, prompting both private and public sectors to take action. The White House recently announced the Service for America initiative, part of the National Cyber Workforce and Education Strategy, aiming to recruit and train Americans for cybersecurity roles by emphasizing skills-based hiring and removing degree requirements. The initiative also promotes apprenticeships and supports diverse candidates, including those with unconventional backgrounds. As businesses face increasing cyber threats, there's a growing recognition that on-the-job training and community-driven efforts are essential to closing the workforce gap and enhancing national cybersecurity defenses. We need cybersecurity people? It sounds like they're finally doing something about it. And I would say we did a story earlier in the year where there was a shortage of threat researchers. Again, I'm going to say the White House may be watching Dispatch, and you're welcome.
This was a real threat. And we talked about it at great length, because if you have a shortage of the people to fix a problem, and a problem that is clearly accelerating, the velocity, the magnitude, the gravity of this problem is clearly growing, but a shortage and a continually shrinking shortage or a continually shrinking supply of people to resolve that problem, this is not going to go in a good direction. Tell me your thoughts. I mean, are we out of the woods yet? Is everything solved?
It's nice to see the government take an active role in shoring up. What we need to have is stateside security researchers. So having them actually put funds and efforts into actually accomplishing that is a huge thing.
So I actually, at my kid's school, which by the way was 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, would teach cybersecurity. And it was sponsored by the U.S. Air Force. And that was a great, it was really nice. And I'm just glad that the government is now taking a more official stance and saying, listen, we need this cyber workforce, this education process to be ceremonially communicated to our citizens and endorsed by the U.S. government. It just makes me feel good.
Feeling good is key, especially when you have stories like your next one where AI is going all over your private data.
Coming in from TheVerge.com from Emma Roth, Google tests its Ask Photos AI assistant that understands what's in your pictures. Google is testing a new feature called Ask Photos, which allows users to interact with their photo library using natural language. This feature, powered by Google's Gemini AI models, can respond with questions like, where did we camp in Yosemite? Or what did we eat in a hotel in Stanley? By analyzing the content of your photos and displaying relevant images. Users can also complete tasks such as summarizing vacations or selecting best family photos for an album. Additionally, Google is enhancing its classic search with natural language capabilities, making it easier to find specific images. This feature is currently available to select users in the United States through Google Labs. Ray, this is fascinating to me because I want everyone to understand this is more than looking at a picture. There is something called metadata, the underlying attached data to a picture. Now there's steganography, if I'm saying that term correctly. You're hiding a whole bunch of data inside a picture. It is not steganography, which I personally love the concept of. The metadata is very almost clearly accessible data if you have the right tool, but it contains the geographical location, the timestamp, the lens, all of the data that was associated to that picture, not including the image itself. It is doing the correlation between your question and the geographic and time stamp and the context, and then providing pictures with that. I'm a little passionate about this because it's pulling the data that you and I have literally been talking about for so long, and it's doing it with perfection.
I like the idea that AI is looking at all of the data, not some of the data. Now that brings a lot of inherent risk, right? Which is why we got into subprocessors on September 12th. But looking at this, it sounds phenomenal. Now, ideally, you're driving down the highway, you say, "Hey, Gemini," and I hope that doesn't work. And you say, "Find me a restaurant, 4-star above, Italian, with reservations at 8. Go ahead and make the call, make the reservation." And it ties in, it does the checking, it does the call, it uses natural language response to make the reservation, report back to me. That's damn amazing. We're not there
It's
yet, but if
incredible.
somebody builds it, let me know.
We're really close. We're really close. We're getting so close, and I would love to hear from everyone else out there. What are your thoughts on this? Because at the end of the day, it's pulling data that was there, but it's now correlating that data, and it's using the power of each of these things that we had individual tools in one tool, one natural language context, which, in my opinion, is so powerful. So I'd love to hear from everyone else.
Amazing.
Is this creepy or is it just awesome?
Check us out on the MMN Discord so we can continue the conversation.
If you like this content, please click like and subscribe.